Good morning. This Shabbat is Shabbat Zachor. The word Zachor, many of you may know, means remembrance. It's the same root as Yizkor, the service of remembrance. Zachor means remember or remembrance. And what are we remembering on this Shabbat? Well, Shabbat Zachor is always the Shabbat that immediately precedes Purim, and that's this Shabbat. We are remembering, of course, in the first instance, Haman. But over time, in addition to Haman, we're remembering a group known as the Amalekites. Now, maybe you've heard of the Amalekites, maybe you haven't. They're a group that existed in the biblical world, and they were the enemies of the children of Israel. And in fact, what's happened over time throughout rabbinic literature and beyond is that the Amalekites have become the archetypical enemy of the Jewish people. And we talk in rabbinic circles and rabbinic commentaries all the time about the fact that Haman and Pharaoh, and even some people suggest Hitler himself, were descendants of the Amalekites, and therefore all of the enemies of the Jews, at least spiritually, if not in fact actually biologically, are somehow descended from this group, the Amalekites. This message has particular resonance for our people this year, as we are only 5 months or so removed from October 7th. Not only do we have to contend with the memory of October 7th itself, it's not even a memory yet, it's still in process, in fact. We also have to contend with the knowledge and the memory that in the wake of October 7th, so many of our enemies have decided to once again, in effect, rise up and criticize us and attack us, in some cases even blame us for October 7th. So this year, of all years, at least in my lifetime, Shabbat Zachor has particular resonance for remembering the fact that it is unfortunately, sadly, too common that Jews in every generation face down the Amalekites. And here we find ourselves at this moment facing down the Amalekites. This is the last Shabbat I'll be with you until I return from Israel. I'm leading the Temple Judea Solidarity Mission to Israel. It's going to begin in Israel on Monday, April 1st. But next week I can't be with you. So I want to tell you that this evening in services, I'm going to speak about Israel in advance of my trip. And then the following Friday after I return, I'm also going to speak to you about what happened on my trip and share some of my thoughts. Not only do I hope I'll see you this evening in the Gore Sanctuary at 6:15, I hope that I'll see you Sunday morning for a wonderful Purim spiel and an amazing Purim carnival, as we do have every year. So I want to say to you, Shabbat Shalom.